Welcome back, Aquarius. Thank you for joining me today for your ASMR July 2020 Tarot Forecast. So, before we get started, I would like for you to do something for me. I'd like you to take all of the hurt feelings, all the pain, all the aggression, all the anger, any negative emotions that you might be feeling for the past month, past couple of months. Wad them up into a tight little ball and send them right into the flame of my candle. Awesome. Great job. Thank you. Ooh, some sparks. Today I have these two quartz crystals. We'll be using those for our manifestation exercise, which is part of the tarot reading this month. I also have this rainbow moonstone. It's basically a white, clear labradorite. You can see the refraction of the light. I also have, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for my clarifier this month. Which is that I have this box which is full of turquoise and opals. I have 3 turquoise in here. I have 1 dendritic opal and 2 fire opals and 8 white opals. And I'm going to be using these to clarify the reading. This is the deck of cards that I'll be using this month. They're very psychedelic. So, the way that I'm going to be doing the reading this month. As I mentioned, there's going to be more of a focus on manifestation of goals. So, I'm going to pull a significator first. And then I'm going to pull past and future cards for the significator. Then I'm going to pull a row of cards to go beneath that. That's going to represent all of the things which are within your control. I'm going to pull another row of cards, which are going to go above that. And that's going to represent everything outside your control. Alright, Aquarius, what is this slip sliding away? We've got the Emperor jumping out of the deck. I usually show jumpers, but I don't always pull them for the reading. I like to see if they come out again. All right. So then cut the deck. This is a card representing you in your current environment. And it is the Justice card. So, and it's upright. Justice card could be about a legal case. It could be about a wrong that was done to you. Can have to do with work, can have to do with relationships that have soured, can have to do with a sum of money, all of those things. Let's look at the past. Interesting. So in the past position, we have the King of Swords and he's reversed. So this could represent a miscarriage of justice, and now it's being corrected. It's a very interesting progression so far. Here we have the future position. The King of Cups. And he's upright. The cups can be about relationships. It could also be about bounty. So even though Pentacles talks about money, Cups can also talk about plenty. Could also be about a relationship that you were in. This card is going to cross the Justice card. And it is the Star card reversed. Now it is a crossing card, so it's not necessarily like full stop reversed. But I feel like there's probably a certain amount of infamy surrounding this justice situation. Maybe it's something that you lost friends over. The Star card is Aquarius's card, so it could also be that you had to do something uncharacteristic to yourself in order to obtain justice in this situation. And now I'm going to look at the factors which are within your control. This is from the past. So it looks like in the past you had surrounded yourself with a tight-knit, supportive friend group. Here's the current situation. Oh, this is really interesting, actually. So I do see you walking away from something. Could be a job, could be a relationship. I haven't really gotten anything specific about it yet. And it is a general reading, but that would make sense with the Justice card here. Maybe the best way to restore order is for you to walk away, and that it would be something that you have control over. And finally, the future. We have the Queen of Wands here. Queen of Wands is somebody who's confident, who's very good at putting themselves out there. And this, of course, being under the King of Cups. So you'll be able to reap the possible benefits of this King of Cups situation if you're able to be confident and put yourself out there. And this King of Cups could just represent bounty, but this could be a water sign who's helping you out. All right. Oh, and I wanted to pull a card to cross this Eight of Cups. And actually, the card that I pulled is the Five of Cups in reverse. So, because of some disappointment, you're deciding to walk away from a situation. And I feel like that's kind of uncharacteristic of your behavior. We have the Star come out in the reverse early on. I think that's probably, it's uncharacteristic of you. It might even be uncharacteristic of you to be disappointed by that certain kind of situation. All right. So the past, out of your control. Very interesting. So up here, in the things that are out of your control, we have the Three of Swords, which can be argument, conflict, or breakup. And then down here, under your control, we have the Three of Cups, which is about a tight-knit friend group. And that's something that is within your control. And then, of course, between the two, this King of Swords in the reverse, which I see as probably being the injustice that's now being corrected. The current situation, out of your control, is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is somebody who wields power in the name of a deity. Like, they put themselves forward as a representative of the higher power. But it can also speak to dogmatism, zealotry, and a refusal to go against the status quo. So, all of those things could be affecting your current situation. If you're in a religious household and you feel like your parents are oppressing you in the name of religion, you might be deciding to move out, that kind of situation. But of course, this part of it being beyond your control. In the future, well, this is really interesting to come after the Hierophant reversed. We have the Devil in the upright. Excuse me. The Devil can be about vices. It can be about humans' tendency to let their baser emotions control them. And it can also speak to addictions. Now, looking at this final row of cards of the future, you will be able to control how you put yourself out there. But it totally reframes this King of Wands, right? Because the King of Wands is very much in control of his emotions as well. So if the Devil card here is speaking to people being controlled by their baser emotions, I think that you will definitely have the capability to rise above that. And so while you will not be able to control that, you will be able to operate within that framework. I am going to pull a card to cross the Hierophant. So the example I gave was about home life, but actually here what I'm seeing is the Eight of Pentacles, which is a career card. This is a job you've held for a long time and you should be very well respected in it. But because this card is showing up in the reverse, I feel like that's not the case. You're not getting the credit that's due to you. Now, some of you might be entering a seminary or something like that, and that would be a completely different situation. Anybody who's involved in magic, like high ceremonial magic in any capacity, these cards are going to have a slightly different meaning for you It could be about the temple that you're working in. This is definitely about strict religious order. So this could be Christianity. It could be, as I mentioned, high ceremonial magic. Don't think that you're exempt from this kind of drama just because you're a magician and you don't go to church. But this is absolutely a situation in which you're not getting your due credit at something you're very experienced at and skilled at. And it's purely because of status quo, or it could be that somebody's heavily religious and it's influencing their view of you. But justice will be served in this situation, whether that is for your benefit or not. We have yet to see, right? So, the next stage of our journey will be by stone. First stage by card, second stage by stone. Alright, so this guy's been jumping out of my hand a little bit. It's kind of a knucklebone shaped opal. I like that one a lot. We have our 3 turquoise stones here. And then this fire opal is flanked by these 2 turquoise, and this fire opal is up here on the crown of the Hierophant. And up here by the Hierophant and by the 8 of Pentacles, we have turquoise, fire opal, jelly opal. Alright. Now over here on the King of Swords, we have this dendritic opal, which is actually kind of fascinating. It's kind of like an agate. We've got 2 corners here and the dendritic opal here. That shows me that there is an established order in the past. See how these are on that far edge and they're spaced far apart on this King of Swords card, right? But this dendritic opal, which is a little bit different, some people might even say that they're not very beautiful to look at, which I disagree. I think they're very fascinating, is on the leading edge of the card toward the current state of affairs. So I think there is a change occurring, but there's a lot rooted deep in the past. We have this other opal down here by your 8 of Cups and 5 of Cups situation. This is something that you do have control over. And it's okay for you to leave. That doesn't make you a failure. And sometimes that's the only way to resolve a situation in your benefit, is to just leave. Especially if it's something where you're really not getting the credit that you deserve for your work. Which I think people should always quit their jobs anyway. But they should definitely get credit for their work. We do have here on your card the star. We do have, as I mentioned, the 2 turquoise nuggets, the fire opal between them. We have 2 opals over here, and it's kind of leading over here to this devil card. So this might be something that's beyond your control, but is also a vice of yours. Or it's something that is, obviously it affects you, but it's a vice that maybe you've overcome. And so when you see other people succumbing to this behavior, you're at least very familiar with it. The devil you know versus the devil you don't, right? And because this other opal has landed over here on this other side of the King of Cups, I think that is showing that you're pretty far beyond that, right? Yeah, so we've got this kind of pointing there, but then this over here, I mean, and that jumped out of my hand before the rest of the rocks hit the table. So that is definitely saying that you have the capacity to be pretty far beyond that, and it's all about how you put yourself out there. Put yourself out there in just a very gregarious, positive, confident, uplifting way. That's what the Queen of Wands is best at. When she walks into a room, everyone notices. For the better. People are like, oh, hooray! The Queen of Wands is here. The party's getting ready to get started, right? Alright. So now, let's think about what this devil situation could be. What that could represent. Because remember, right before that, we had the Hierophant in reverse. And then, of course, at the beginning of that line, we had the Three of Swords, which is a dispute card, a breakup card, an argument card, alright? So I want you to think about what that devil could represent in your life, because we need to be able to overcome that to be effective, right? So I want you to think long and hard, whether it's a vice that you've overcome, a vice you haven't overcome, something you see in your peer group, something you see in the world around you that you feel like is affecting you through its ignorance or blatance. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now whatever that devil represents to you, I want for you to imagine yourself growing so much bigger than that situation. Whether physically you see yourself growing bigger, or whether ideally you see yourself in a situation where there's no way that that could ever affect you again. And I want you to envision, as I count backwards, how far above that situation you are able to get. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Great job, Aquarius. You really did well. Thank you so much for joining me again this month. It really means a lot to me. I'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, subscribe. Please do comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. And hopefully, I'll see you again very